Today I'm bringing you a dish that is easy enough for a weeknight, but bougie enough for a dinner party. It also helps that it is lousy with peaches and whiskey. This is a beautiful grilled pork tenderloin with a whiskey peach barbecue pan sauce. I think you're gonna wanna stick around for this one. We're grilling up this whiskey peach pork tenderloin today. So I've got my grill preheating. I'm cooking these on charcoal today. I have it set up for 2-zone heat, meaning coals on one side, no coals on the other. I usually give myself a good 15 minutes for my grill to preheat. I'm looking for a target temperature on the grill of like 375 degrees. And while that's going, we're gonna prep our pork tenderloin. Now, pork tenderloins are great because they are kind of like the filet mignon of pork, which means they're incredibly tender, but they're also quite lean. So we're gonna balance the leanness of this pork with some sweet, some heat, some char, and a little kick from some whiskey, which I think is a fantastic flavor combo. Most pork tenderloins come from the store in kind of a vac sealed pack. Once you cut them out, this is what we're looking at. Now, a little barbecue pro tip with these pork tenderloins is they always have a little bit of silver skin on kind of the thicker portion towards the end. Using a fillet knife, you can trim that away. It'll give you a much more tender, delicious, melt in your mouth, finished bite. Pork tenderloin is trimmed. You can see not a lot of trimmings here. Really short, really easy, but we have a beautiful pork tenderloin to work with now. I'm gonna season this on all sides with my sweet rub. This is a classic backyard barbecue style of seasoning. Brown sugar, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and some sea salt in there. It adds a beautiful color to the pork tenderloin, but it also has that brown sugar on there that will caramelize on the grill as we roll it over to the high heat side and get that crispy, crunchy crust all around those edges. Now you can snag sweet rub from my online store. I also have the recipe on my website if you want to make it, or our products are available nationwide in Ace Hardware, Academy Sports, Fleet Farm, Shields, and a bunch of local amazing barbecue pro shops. You can actually check the store locator on my website and see if there is a store near you that carries Hey Grill Hey products. Hopefully there will be even more stores that carry our products soon. Pork tenderloin looks great. I'm gonna check on my coals. Now the ambient temperature on my grill is about 350 degrees, but over the indirect heat side, we're probably looking closer to 225 to 250 degrees. So this will go on that indirect heat side, that nice low temperature. It'll pick up smoky flavor from the charcoal while it's cooking low and slow. And then when we hit about 130 to 135, we'll move this over to the high heat side and get that crispy, crunchy crust on the outside of this beautiful pork tenderloin. I mean, look at that color already just from the seasoning. Our pork tenderloin has been cooking over indirect heat about 40 minutes. It's clocking 135, which means it's time to get that final sear and make our whiskey peach sauce. So I'm gonna get my 12-inch cast iron skillet over the coals so that can start heating up. And I wanna make sure to leave enough space on the side that I can get that pork tenderloin over the coals as well. So I'm gonna start with a couple tablespoons of butter in my skillet, let that start to melt. And I've got really hot coals over here so I can get a nice sear on this pork tenderloin. It's time for barbecue ASMR. To my melting butter, I'm gonna add about a cup of sliced peaches. It is not currently peach season, so I'm using frozen, but you can use peeled, pitted, and fresh peaches if they're in season right now for you. Give our tenderloin a flip. Yes. There's a fine line in grilling for me between charred and burned, and I really like these crispy edges from this sugary rub. Give it a nice bit of char, a nice bit of color, because when we slice these into medallions, the outside is really only a little bit of the flavor that you're getting. So a nice aggressive char, that's the ticket for me. My pork tenderloin has beautiful color all the way around. I'm gonna let that come off the grill onto my cutting board and rest while I finish up these peaches. Now that my butter's melted, starting to brown, my peaches are starting to cook through, I'm gonna add a little sprinkle of my sweet rub. This is gonna tie into the flavors on the pork tenderloin, but also the brown sugar in here is going to help caramelize some of the peaches as well. Just another layer of flavor. This is taking a Backyard basic and making it bougie without making it complicated. So to our caramelized peaches, I'm just gonna add a splash of whiskey to deglaze the pan. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And then just a splash of my whiskey peach barbecue sauce. Maybe this should have been barbecue ASMR. Just like that, our sticky, sweet whiskey peach pan sauce is ready. Our pork tenderloin is rested. It's time to slice it up and give this a taste test, I think. I wish that you were in my backyard with me right now because it smells absolutely phenomenal back here. Now, if we cook this correctly, it should be a little bit like a blush pink on the inside. And the beautiful part about pork tenderloin is you can cook it to 140, 145, and it is food safe. When you pull it off at 140, the carryover cooking allows it to finish cooking up to 145, meaning that it's safe for you to eat, but it also will have the best texture. It'll be juicy, it'll fall apart in your mouth, and because we didn't overcook it and we used that charcoal grill, it'll be loaded with flavor. Yes, juicy and perfectly blush pink on the inside. What I'm gonna do next is both for flavor and presentation, I'm gonna nestle it into this beautiful whiskey peach sauce and kind of spoon it over the top so you get all of that luscious, buttery, peachy, whiskey-filled flavor onto every piece of this pork tenderloin. We made it to my favorite time of every episode. This is when I get to sneak a little taste off of the edge right here before anybody else gets a bite. In my house, we say you gotta test for poison, right? Somebody's gotta fall on the sword, I guess it's me. That is everything I wanted it to be and more. It is sweet, it is sticky, it is zesty, and then we have this beautiful melt in your mouth pork. It was so delicious. I think you know what time it is. It's taste test Todd time, everybody. Yay!
Oh
applause!
It's on a knife?
You got
This looks dangerous.
Be so careful.
Whoa.
The sweet from the peaches
That's ridiculous.
with like that zip from the whiskey and then the heat from the sweet rub.
Turn the blade this way.
Oh yeah, I do gesticulate while I speak. That's more safe probably. That is an absolutely delicious bite of food. If you need a quick weeknight dinner that really wows, or I would say for this, even inviting people over and you want to impress, you want to put out the good sauce. You know what I'm talking about? That's this whiskey peach barbecue sauce smothered grilled pork tenderloin.
That's like peak barbecue.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. I think this is one that you will come back to over and over again. It's one flavor combo that we visit all of the time in our own backyard, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I hope this helps you make, a little bit better barbecue so you can feed the people that you love and become a backyard barbecue hero. Now we'll see you back here next week where I'm making an amazing side dish, one of our favorites, crispy skillet potatoes cooked in beef tallow. I can't wait. See you then. I'm looking for a target temperature on the grill of like 375 degrees.
That's the face we all know right there. Resting trim face.
It's my resting trim face. That I can get that. To reinforce all the flavors, we're gonna go in with a splash of whiskey. This seems dangerous. Should I pour it from something? Like a measuring cup so I don't light the whole bottle on fire and create a bomb? Maybe. Is that a thing that happens? Would it explode on me? Okay, let's find out.